Alright, so, where I left off, talked about falling from heights. So, in addition to being, well, we're not really in basements, but a lot of times backyards, we're on roofs. Obviously, we're doing ductworks in the ceilings, up in the attics. So, we want to make sure that it says anytime an HVAC contractor is high off the ground, he could fall. So obviously to avoid this danger, only use safe, sturdy ladders or scaffolding, and insist on safety harnesses if you're on a commercial building doing that kind of work that's way up high. HVAC contractors should never hang over the side of a building to reach for any kind of gear or equipment. Hot equipment increases the possibility of burns. So obviously when we're talking about HVAC contractors, hot equipment materials, we're soldering for an example, common practice when fixing heating and cooling equipment. You have a furnace, air conditioners, often they're hot, so there's many types of heating systems that uses flames. And you can get minor burns that way, or even major burns. You can leave scars, creating ongoing pain. So while also limiting the contractor's ability to work as well, your ability to work. To avoid the likelihood of burns, HVAC contractors should allow equipment to cool before handling it and use appropriate heat-resistant gloves when required. Also wearing eye protection when you're soldering at every single job is required. Working as an HVAC contractor can be rewarded lucratively in your career, but it's not without its dangers because of the severity of each of these hazards, from serious burns with hot tools to a fatal vehicle crash that occurs when a contractor is asleep at the wheel. Safety must be at the forefront of everything the contractor does. So with proper safety protocols in place, the chance of these serious safety threats can be significantly reduced. So anybody have any questions on that? Pretty simple. So what do you do if what do you do? Let's ask a couple questions. What if you're tired, really tired, you've had a long day, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and you're driving and you're getting tired, what do you do?
Pull over.
And do what?
Take a nap.
Get some Gatorade.
Okay. So, depending on where you're at to pull over and take a nap,
Yeah.
you don't do it on the freeway, obviously. Pull over, get yourself a parking lot, sit down, get out, stretch, go get a coffee, whatever you got to do. I wouldn't recommend sleeping, falling asleep during the day, but that's just going to make you more tired and you could be there for hours. It's better, it's obviously, if that's the last thing, if you have to do that because you just can't function at all, even getting up and stretching, that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But I recommend that you get up, go park somewhere, get a coffee, walk around, stretch, get some fresh air, and then, if you feel up to it, get back in the car and drive safe, okay? Having a second person with a lot of these things, when we're talking about electrical, when we're talking about being up in roofs or in attics and things like that, it's also very important to make sure that you have someone holding your ladder, for an example, making sure that someone's turning off the power for you, and you also use your equipment to test it. Don't make an assumption, just like the guy at my house. So, the breaker said that was the dishwasher, but oops, not. And luckily it's 110, so he got a little shock. It wasn't the end of the world. And my son was there, so my son went over and turned off a couple other ones and said, okay, that's good. It's no longer on. But having a second person a lot of times does help, so you're not running back and forth, because that usually, if you got to run back and forth, honestly, what happens is you don't do it. You work through it, and then you get hurt. So how many of you guys have ever done that? Didn't want to go downstairs or didn't want to go find the breaker box and turn it off. It's 110, so you say, oh, what the heck, I'm just going to go ahead and...
I'll be fine.
So you're saying don't replace the electric disconnect on the wall without turning it off?
Yes.
What?
Great idea.
I've done it millions of times. I don't get zapped, my helper does.
Because he has us do it.
Hey. I needed to find where the breaker was. It told me what breaker it was.
Once it pops, then you know what breaker it is, right?
That's exactly what happened.
And if you can't find the box, just listen real closely when he cuts the wire.
Yeah. All right. So, in all seriousness, though, guys, seriously, let's be proactive. Let's not let someone get hurt. Because think about it this way: if you get shocked up in an attic, for an example, it may just be enough to knock you off your butt into a place where there's not a safe place for you to stand, and you're gonna fall through and, land possibly 2 stories down. Right, or on a railing, or whatever the case is, okay? So be careful with it, guys, be careful driving, be careful with everything you do. It's better to be safe than sorry, for all of our sakes, okay? Cool? All right.
Quick one on how you're talking about exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you guys are aware of the Department of Transportation's rules for hours of service, combined work and driving? You have to
0.
be
13
back,
hours?
14 hours, you have to be back at the shop by the 14th hour and not drive for 8 hours. That's how it's defined for combined workers. I don't know if we get a
If we carry
different one
logs.
because we're service techs, but I know as a mechanic, it was by the 14th hour.
I'm not really sure about that, so I can't
Or
answer.
DOT gives you a hefty fine.
I know if you're a truck
Yeah,
driver,
personally.
that's the
Yeah,
case.
13 hours?
Yeah.
13 hours,
You can't, you cannot be on the road for, more than that.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, guys, let's be safe out there, let's keep going, we have a few jobs going, like I said, I'm gonna have, Jason's gonna go with Nick, and, Jesse and Mike are gonna go out to that job. We're trying to get something for Oscar and Ryan, right now, I have been working on it, but Omar is out right now, he's sick this morning, so I have Bryce, who doesn't really know what he's doing yet, so I have to go and help him see what I can do for that, okay?
We'll try not to give them too much help.
Yeah, please don't.